Hello everybody, thank you for joining us, Game Gumshoes, for another Game Gumshoes Presents. We're glad to see you back, and today on Game Gumshoes Presents, I want to introduce Gloom by Atlas Games. It is an interesting little game. It's sick and twisted and all that fun stuff. I first became aware of it when we were hosting a International Tabletop Game Day at a store called Rock and Rooster. We had some of the promo stuff come in, and we reviewed it and tried to figure out what games we needed. Now, I have to admit, initially, I was kind of hesitant to get this game because of its price point. But now, if I were to look at it again, after seeing the game... Well, actually, after seeing the game, I went out and purchased a copy myself. It impressed me because the cards are plastic. They're vaguely see-through. And they hold up really well when you're out playing in restaurants and stuff like that, like I tend to do. In it, you play different families. There are 4 different families in the main set. Each of them have different things about them. You have the Slogar family, they have red backgrounds. You got things like Lord Slogar, which is just a brain in a box. And with this family here, the yellow family, they have Mr. Giggles, a creepy clown. Most of their characters all seem like, circus performer type things. Usually one is vaguely pet-ish. I'll just throw it out there. But anyhow, the 4 different families, they have different colors, so they're easy to spot. And the object of the game is kind of twofold. One, you're telling a story. And it's kind of interesting aspect. If you don't have people with interesting, well, I won't say interesting imaginations, but if you don't have people with an imagination that can spin a story, it may not be the game for them. But, for some of the people I play with, it works out really well. Now, so like Mr. Giggles is a creepy clown. He always has a smile on for the children. Don't ask how he has a freaking clown nose on when skeletons don't have noses. I had somebody do that. But the object of the game is you have your family. And you love your family. But you want them dead. You want to kill off your family. But before you kill them off, you want to make them as miserable as possible. Now the way to do that is by playing Gloom points. They have a negative number on them, and the way you play them is you place them over top of a character. And there are some symbols in some of the corners of the cards. They're not on all the cards, but there are, symbols in there. Now, each of them have different stories on them. So, in this case, it's contracted consumption. And there are also little flavor text down here that give extra bonuses and stuff like that when you play it. So in this case, the draw limit is reduced by 1 card. That sometimes actually hurts you. But, for 30 Gloom points, that's a good thing. Now, you keep playing until somebody's entire family's been killed off. And then you flip over all the cards and determine whether or not you have the most Gloom points. Now I say flip over because eventually you will take a card. Now you can only do this on your first turn. You get 2 turns basically. You get 1 where you can kill off or play a card. Your second turn is always you get to play a card of some sort. But on your first turn you can play these death cards. In this case, Mr. Giggles was ravaged by weasels. And down here it tells you to flip it over. If it has a matching symbol, then you get extra Gloom points. In this case, there's not extra Gloom points, but he would go face down on the table and wait until an entire family is dead. Now, your opponents, or you, depending on your aspect, because some of the bonus, the positive things that can happen to these characters, some of them have little things down here that are worth making your character happy just so you can have that extra bonus. And in this case, was married magnificently. So you would weave the story about how even though Mr. Giggles had contracted consumption, he met the love of his life, and so he was married magnificently. He went from negative 30 gloom points to 0 here, and down here he's a positive 15 instead of a negative 15. So this would be a guy that you would want to bring back from the dead if he gets killed off, because, you know, just as the gloom points will stay with you, the happy points, as I like to call them, will stay with you as well. But anyhow, pick up a copy of Gloom, give it a shot, make your family miserable, and then kill them off. I know it sounds morbid, I know it sounds depraved, but it's fun. Especially if you get into the whole storytelling aspect of it. And you weave the whole story about Mr. Giggles and all his things that happened to him. Now, on top of that, you know, you've got the base set. There are several expansions for it. And there is also a Cthulhu version, because, let's face it, all you Lovecraftians love the Cthulhu stuff. So if you get a chance, pick up Gloom or Cthulhu Gloom and have fun with your friends and family. Take it anywhere you want, because the cards will hold up to most food and drink. If they get wet, clean them off with a little bit of Windex or some soap and water. Make sure you dry them out really well. I'm sure they won't hold up permanently, but as long as you keep them clean and you take care of them, they should last you quite some time. Anyhow, that's Gloom from Atlas Games. Thank you for joining us.